Facebook's independent fact-checker may not be so independent after all. A US congressman has questioned the impartiality of factcheck.org, which is supposed to tackle vaccine disinformation because it's indirectly funded by jab manufacturer Johnson & Johnson.
Who pays the paychecks of the fact-checkers? The vaccine fact-checkers at factcheck.org, who claim to be independent, are funded by an organisation that holds over $1.8 billion of stocks in a vaccine company and is run by a former director of the Centers for Disease Control.
The fact-checking account responded to the accusations by making clear its funding sources. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation is one of the benefactors and holds billions in Johnson & Johnson stock. The foundation's CEO is Richard Besser, who was a former acting director of the Centre for Disease Control. But factcheck.org claims there's no interference in its editorial decisions, and the foundation's views aren't necessarily reflected in its decisions. But author and liberal studies expert Michael Rechtenwald believes such connections pose risks to the public.
This is absolute collusion on the part of vaccine manufacturers having funding the fact checkers on social media. So we're actually getting to the point where people's lives are being endangered. We've lost all confidence in the social media and our mainstream media entirely. Anything that comes into contradiction with the leftist agenda is deemed misinformation. People are now not able to get information about what's best for their health, including the detriments of the vaccine.
We're live. Blessings from Scotland. Thanks for tuning in to another episode with John from All for Synchronicity. Thanks for your kind emails. Thanks for all your messages. I read all comments. Thanks for leaving comments. It's interesting times to see the RT News starting to report on the fact checkers and, you know, the lamestream media, or MSM, starting to look into all these interesting facts. I hope you enjoyed the beginning video. Palestine, the Gaza Strip, seems to be getting beaten to the ground. I'm not sure how much of you have been tuning into that. The news as well, you know, it seems to be sounding like Netanyahu's team or administration is about to go into even greater hardships. And I found it very interesting because yesterday we were reading just Luke 12, and to tap into a little piece, it says, you know, Luke 12:3. Let me go back. Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whosoever we have spoken in the darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in ear, in closest, shall be proclaimed upon the rooftops. And specifically, you know, you look at the lamestream media, everything's starting to come out, you know. India, it turns out that nobody's actually in the hospital, and all the mainstream media are pumping that up. You know, I'm not sure it's true. You need to look into it yourself and look at local stuff, but many of the Indians are just going to the hospitals and just looking, you know, and it's empty. Oh, and the other one was, did you see here's a country, they actually, nurses went into the emergency and they start dancing, pull back the screens, and they show you no patients, nothing. And of course, you notice the morgues, they're inundated and people's falling over on the fucking streets with this pandemic. You can literally see them. Yeah. What about the new magnetic aspects of the injected bunch? You know, you've been seeing this much lately. They're actually starting to put magnets on themselves. There was a footage of a guy in America. He goes in and he starts speaking. He's in a restaurant and he starts speaking about the fact that whenever he touches something electronic with Bluetooth, it says trying to connect to you. He says, I've been having this for weeks. And he walks up to the telly and the Bluetooth of the telly tries to connect to him. Hello. Truly fun times. I hope you're enjoying this show, because I'll tell you, the popcorn on the front row seat is a huge pile. So get your popcorn, enjoy the show. Today I thought I'd read a couple of interesting passages. You know me, I've been digging in the Bible for you guys to try and keep you full of good juice, and even sharing some Rudolf Steiner anthroposophy stuff. But today, Corinthians 4:2. Therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faith not, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of God deceitfully, but by manifestation of the truth, condemning ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of God. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the, and small g, the God of this world have blinded of them which believe not, lest the light of the glory of the gospel of the Christ, who is the image of God, shall shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Christ Jesus the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Jesus' sake. Fantastic. I'll leave a link. You can read that one for yourselves. Obviously, I'm not the greatest of readers, so I do encourage everybody to read for themselves. And, the studying of the book, the Good News book, that certainly does energize your soul. And if you consider the amount of other people that have read it, not just in our generation, but there's a lot of honour. There's a lot of amazing things when you think about the ancestral reading of such. Peter's 3:4, when you add it together, it's 7 heaven. I do like 7. But let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God a great price. Peter, such a beautiful soul. And I'm hoping to share a podcast with Peter. There's a friend of mine that spent a lot of time reading into Peter, and I'm looking forward to sharing some time with them, and hopefully that'll be on the channel some point in the next month or so. Psalms 145 and 19. He will fulfill the desire of that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. As I said in yesterday's podcast, these things in this world are all ashes. They all came from dust, made into clay, you, me, everything. Thus, why should you fear anything in this? You should be more scared of what comes after this short time. Life is, in the sight of this realm, a very short period of time. I mean, just scale yourself to an animal. I mean, don't they say that it's 7 years to your 1 year for a dog? Doesn't that give you a thought of the perspective of time? You're really here for a short time, so renew the mind. Forget about the body. Forget about all the problems that's in your life. Look beyond. That's the key, All good things will come to those that do good will. A couple of clips for you as well, so do stick in and watch them.
Single day that we don't speak out as Jews in support of Palestinian liberation is another day too late. This is the first time I am using my full real name to stand in solidarity with Palestinians. And I don't deserve applause because I am too late. Because every single day that we don't speak out as Jews in support of Palestinian liberation is another day too late. I grew up in a Jewish American school system that was explicitly Zionist. I feel like we've all heard stories, but that didn't just make sure we didn't talk about Palestine, but actively taught us not to empathize with Palestinians. And the kind of fear and repression that leads Jews who would say more to be silent is why Israel can continue to do what it's doing. But I'm here to say, for anybody who is scared, that there is no level of explaining away that can make it okay that 30 plus children were buried in Gaza on Eid. There is nothing. There is no explaining that away. And no school system and no Hasbara newspaper and no government can make that okay.
are doing every single thing they can to survive. And our duty and our responsibility and our commitment is to do every single thing that we can do in solidarity with the Palestinian people.
Really amazing to see the people in Palestine actually starting to speak out and to consider that they are quite young. It's shows you the level of truth and faith that's in the next generation. And I remember in All for Synchronicity, I laid a post April 20 something. Well, earlier in this year, a synchronicity occurred, and one of our new members, they actually put a thumbs up to a comment that was over a year old. But to my surprise, they did it literally the same day it was posted, a year after I had posted it. So I'd like to read you this piece if you're intrigued, and I'll mention where it came from at the end, so stand by. Children of tomorrow, I apologise to you on behalf of those in my time for the things we didn't do. We didn't stop the tyrants, so your fate could be prevented. We watched them steal our freedom. By our silence we consented. We didn't choose to circumvent the doom you've not escaped. While the Bill of Rights was murdered and the Constitution raped, some of us were lazy, others were too afraid to think about our children, the ones we have betrayed. I guess we were too busy to be concerned to care, to try to ease the burden of the chains we made you wear. We could have been good shepherds when the wolf got in the fold, but we watched the flames of freedom die instead and left you cold. I'm sorry we were timid, my selfish generation. We left you but a remnant of a free and prosperous nation. I'm sorry for our actions. Like cowards we behaved. We could have left you freedom. Instead, you are enslaved. Children of tomorrow, descendants of our land. I'm sorry we allowed this, the fate you now withstand. It's truth though, guys. I mean, how many of you actually look around and actually see that you're indoctrinated for poverty, or you're in belief of the fear of this thing that's got wings? You know, you're truly being manipulated by tyrants. And my country, Scotland, England, they are truly indoctrinated. They have been probably the most lost. And I watch many, because England is a nice island, a lot of people come and go. I've met a lot of people from Europe, from other countries. I don't want to be precise for you, but definitely in the Northern Hemisphere and to the right side of Scotland, you know. And a lot of them identify tyranny very quickly. And I give you an example. This lockdown, I mean, they recognised it straight away that it was against all of the actual laws which a government is actually entitled to be. So straight away that shows you that the government is not the government. And if they were the government in respect of their laws that they create and we hold them to, you're meant to hold them to it, right? If you're not holding them to their laws, then who is? Because we the people, it's your generation. Jude's got kids, right? I don't have kids. I wouldn't want to try and take away the indoctrinations for anybody's mind of my own. I am a kid. God's kid. Guys, it's a beautiful piece. We need to waken up the others, and it's not your job, it's theirs. As I've proven in many of my previous podcasts, they're blinded because of their father of lies, or their small god, because they all walk toward that. You know, they seem to think that this short material world is their only existence. Well, guys, another video coming. There's a cool song that some of the Palestinian people have made in reference to the events that's undergoing in there. And I think that's another nice touch. So let's head on over there.
There once was a land called Palestine, where Christians, Muslims and Jews lived fine. In the 1800s it was ruled by the Ottoman Empire. Meanwhile a bearded guy founded Zionists for Jews to aspire, a land that becomes their home and safe only for their kind. Then there was was World War One that ended when the Allies won, and England was like, hey, this beautiful land is totally mine. Still the name was Palestine, even though it was colonized, and a promise for a Zionist state was made by a man that had no right. Then more and more Jews arrived seeking refuge, and that's alright until their plan to steal the land was no longer to hide. The year was 1948 when Israel bullied its way into a state. Thousands of Palestinians fled their homes to survive. No right for return, no right for a home, no right to fight for the land that they owned. Israel expanded more and more into an apartheid. Where is your humanity? Where is your respect for dignity? Call it conflict, that's insanity. It's time to change your mind. One day Palestine will be free, so be on the right side of history. You're not anti-Semitic if you stand against war crimes. Don't be brainwashed by the news. Now you can see for yourself the truth. Learn about the story of Palestine.
So with the level of awareness that everybody's slowly growing or getting, it's you ask yourself the question, how deep is the indoctrinations? Is the indoctrinations to the level where some of these charities that ask for donations are actually just filling up their own pocket, filling you with shite? And I'll give you some examples. There's some charity adverts I seen at least a decade ago that are still being shown now, and you look at the advert and you think to yourself, is that donkey still walking about after 10 years? Is that charity still doing what they're saying? And I'll give you another example. There's one that says if you give them £3 a month, they'll give water to somebody. It's like really the most natural resource, which obviously the geoengineers control, but the most natural resource on earth, £3, is going to all of a sudden give somebody water out of fucking thin air.
This is an urgent appeal from the UK charity WaterAid. Every day, Jean walks miles to fetch this water. Water so dirty it could kill him, but he has no choice. Every day, Concilia gives her baby water that's teeming with parasites and bacteria. She knows it could kill him, but she has no choice. Today, 4,000 children will die from poor sanitation and dirty water. They drink it because they have no choice. But you do. Today, you can choose to bring clean, life-saving water to children like Jean by calling WaterAid on 0800 077 6900 and giving just £2 a month. Your £2 a month will help communities build wells and install pumps and taps. Your £2 a month will help bring children clean water for life. We've already brought clean water to over 15 million people, but it's simply not enough. So please, call 0800 077 6900 or text WATER to 70800. Please, for Jean's sake, call now, because until we reach him, he'll have no choice but to keep drinking dirty water until the day he dies. Thank you.
And people believe this crap, What interesting times we live in, isn't it? Do you think the corruption's going to land on everybody's doorstep soon? Do you think the Klaus Schmidt and what do you call the Queen's son again? Charles. Do you think their Great Reset's going to kick in? Or do you think Jesus Christ Grand Reset, the Divine One, is going to kick in? Well guys, listen, I made a short video for you today. I hope you're feeling the joy. I'm certainly enjoying the popcorn. And if you need some, just comments below. I'll ship it to you. It'll be Scottish popcorn. Did you pay attention to the advert that I shared for the water? If you watch the child in the footage, he uses a green cup, which is plastic. And if you think about what's out there, do you really think the poor would have plastic cups? And then, of course, did you see the mother, how clean her clothes was, considering that she has to stand in a mucky puddle to obtain the water, which is the same cup as the boy was using, which is not the same child she was holding. Oh, wow. And that's been on the telly for at least 10 years. I mean, you just really cannot make this crap up. People, indoctrinated minds, right? It's like, hello, which mind do you choose? Do you choose the father of lies' mind, or do you choose the divine God's mind? Guys, really hope this video has been pleasurable today. I'm projecting out the love, projecting out the good feelings, hoping that they manifest you some beautiful days ahead. Love you dearly. God bless you.